that there like that. And we'll hope that holds while we get the smoothest feed up going. Because of the temperature and all like that, I expect the water in the bowls to be frozen, and debris always kinds of finds its way. You know, this is, aside from being a moist area, it tends to be windy at times when the rain is on its way or the precipitation is on its way. So, yeah, stuff gets to flying around and all of that. So we're gonna have to give their water bowls some attention. 1 second here. Food bowls, little dirt. I ain't too worried about that. That's a quick wipe out. Go ahead and get that added in. Right. Now they're actually going to eat twice before I leave the yard, or they'll be fed twice. First feed up is basically their feed up for now. Get them off the eat and get something warm in their system. Do that there. Right in the food bowl. Then I break out a jug of hot water and put that right on top of the feed. All right? And that'll give them a nice warm feed to start them off for the day. Get something hot in their system, just like you would do your kids. You know what I mean? You send them out there with some hot oatmeal or something early in the day so that they can, you know what I mean, have a good start. Plenty of fuel in their system. Now that's Solo making all the noise. And when he get that acting like that, I ignore his black ass. And I'll do something like this in brainer. You know what I mean? Because he ain't got no business talking to me like that. He ain't built like that. That hot water on that thing, y'all. Gotta put that hot water on that thing. That's mandatory. Gotta put that hot water on that thing. It's the Northeast. They have a category of storms named after us called nor'easters, right? And we should all the way into April around here, all the way to April, maybe May. So, you know what I mean? It's supposed to be spring coming, right? But like, yeah. Hush. And that's enough. Peace to the YouTube fan. Peace to all the bulldog that's in the universe. The one and only Ray Imperial. Back with a quick edition of the Imperial Diaries. It's the first week of the month. So this is kind of my maintenance week, if you want to call it that. This way, when I do all my deworming, we're going to be spraying the yard down with the bleach, all of that kind of stuff. So GoPros don't work very well in the cold, y'all. Give you fair warning. It's about 20-something degrees out here today. So I don't know how long this thing is going to stay on. But I'm going to give y'all as much footage as I can while I'm just out here doing my daily cleanup. Y'all know this is the Ghost Face Dog, Old Family Red Nose, and with the Klaus cross. Klaus is basically old Corvino blood, right? Klaus blood from the Kids Involved camp is basically old Corvino stuff. All right. This one here, y'all know this is the Impeccable Reign of Terror. This is a beautiful pup here. Beautiful pup here. Beautiful pup here. This, if we can get some pups out of this bitch, it would be real nice. The last 2 attempts to breed her did not pan out, but I can't wait. I can't wait. She tends to take traits, seems to take after her paternal grandmother, which is a bitch named War Dancer. And the fact is that War Dancer was a hard bitch to breed as well. So there may be something to that. I don't know. But I know she was supposed to go in the heat for me this February, and she didn't go in the heat for me. But it's all right. It's all right, because that shit happens. That happens. This young boy here is only 16 months old. We ain't even thinking about breeding him. And this motherfucker here, he is available. Old boy is available as of today.
All right, peace to the fam, peace to the fam. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Put it in the chat if you can hear me. Okay, that's what's good. I rock. Look like it's me and you in here right now, bro. I don't know if anybody else is in the building, man. Go ahead, hit that like button. Shout it out. Let us know where you at. Let's talk about it, y'all. Let's talk about it. My brother I rock said peace and blessings. Peace and blessings, OG. Showing love from AZ. You got some Imperial blood ready to send this way? Question mark. Not quite yet, brother. Not quite yet. We not quite ready for you just yet. But we getting ready for you. Don't worry about that. So basically, we got 2 bitches in heat right now. Well, actually, one is no longer in heat. She's been bred already. That's your Hollingsworth Jip, right? That's the little Bolio Tombstone bitch that y'all saw me with in the hotel room. So she's been bred. So we just wait and see whether or not she's gonna produce. So IROC, hopefully, you know what I mean, she'll be dropping something down for us here soon. That's what I'm talking about. Wow. Okay, IROC with the $9.99 love piece. That I appreciate that, fam. You said, who's the male you looking to place? I'm ready to make some moves. Okay, there you go. All right. So Solo is the male that is ready to move, bro. That we go in terms of Asiatic soldier in the building. Police, peace, salute, peace and blessings. On the road, tuning in. That's what's up, bro. Appreciate you tuning in. But yeah, Solo's the male that we looking to place, bro. He's currently out on the yard. He was just put out on the yard for the first time. I would say about a week ago. More than a week ago. It's been a couple of weeks now. Solo turned 2 years old in February, right? So IROC, shoot me an email and we'll get into all the details about Solo and how we want to go ahead and make that move. Bantu Mandinka, yes, Solo is for sale. Absolutely. Indeed, Bantu Mandinka, you hit the nail on the head. Solo is for sale. Just to make sure y'all can hear me, man. If y'all can hear me, man, go ahead, throw that fire emoji in the chat for me. Let me know we cooking. Y'all forgive me. I'm twisting up here while I chat with y'all. So if I seem a little distracted, it's for a good cause. So, I mean, do y'all have any questions, man? Do y'all have any questions? There's been a lot going on lately. I haven't been kicking out videos as much as I'd like to. So I'm definitely trying to kind of catch up with y'all a little bit, man. So if y'all got any questions for me, man, definitely let me know. I rock with the 499 love piece. Said respect, sending that information now. All day, bro. All day, all day. All day. And you definitely been patient, brother. You've been waiting a long time. So, your name is right at the top of the list for the solo dog. Obviously. You know what I mean? That's an automatic. My brother Trent, Pump 17 in the building, said, what up, bro? Yes, sir. Long-standing member of the Team Imperial. Cam Glamarati, comrade. True indeed. Keeper of the flame in his own right. My brother Pump 17. What's the deal? What's the deal? I should have hit you up first, brother, to let you know, man. As you know, some of the discussions we've been having behind the scenes, man. Solo is being made available. We're gonna go ahead and let Solo go to the public. Soul Power, aka Gamed Up Keno. Salute, brother Ray. Salute, brother Soul. What's the word, man? How you, fam? Yeah, man. I got a live Q&A going on here tonight, bro. In the video I just dropped, I announced that Solo would be for sale. We all gonna let the solo dog go. So y'all hit me up. Let me know, man. If you're interested, definitely let me know. Let me know what we doing, y'all. Inquisitive Jen said, if the boy was a little younger, I would have picked him up. I tell you, bro, this is why I am making him available now is because he is at the perfect age to breed. You know what I mean? He's 2 years old, so he's not fully adult. I've seen enough to know that he'd probably be better off in somebody else's program as opposed to what, the way I train my dogs and what I'm pushing for. My brother iRock he on it. Look like he might have beat y'all to the punch, man. He said he can't wait. Solo's coming home to AZ, huh? Speak that thing into existence. That's what it is. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. We're gonna definitely get that popping for you, bro. We're gonna get that popping. So the reasons that we decided to let Solo go is because we're gonna primarily be concentrating on things like we're gonna be primarily concentrating on some coyote hunting, right? And to be honest, Solo is not so much of a hunting kind of dog. Solo's more of a guard dog. You know what I mean? Solo's more of a kind of dog. Solo's more the kind of dog that he'll be great if somebody's approaching the house, a stranger, Solo will give voice. He's a great guard dog. In terms of actual hunting, Solo, he would rather like play with sticks and stuff. You know what I mean? So Solo is not necessarily, he doesn't necessarily display the hunting IQ. You know what I mean? That you see in Bull and you see in Raina, or the desire to hunt as much. He does have some prey drive. He will chase squirrels and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, Solo's not really a dog you turn loose in the woods and say, go get him. You know what I mean? Solo is more or less You know, he'd be a great weight pull dog, be a great guard dog, be a great family pet and companion. He does have a great working attitude. You can put him on that fur pole and that spring pole, and he'll go until he drops. You know what I mean? But as far as what we're doing at Imperial Flame Kennels, he would never really be able to chase down Coyote. He would never really be able to, you know what I mean? Like that's a little bit beyond Solo, at least for his temperament. So I would say he been in a lab. Wait a minute. Hold on. Bantu Mandinko says Solo is a nice dog. I appreciate that, fam. He is a good boy in his own right. It's just you know, when I put him and Bull side by side, Bull has more of the temperament, more of the attitude, more of the tools that I'm looking for my program. So Power say he been in a lab, just dropped the official intro to his channel. Y'all make sure y'all go check the brother Soul Power out, show some love, show your support. That's always a good thing to do. Always a good thing to do. And as y'all come on in, don't be afraid to hit that like button. Don't be afraid to hit that like button. That's just one of them things that we do to let YouTube know. Listen, people want to hear from us, right? We have a voice and a valid audience. So when you hit that like button, that lets YouTube know, man, that this is the kind of content you are interested in, and that this is the kind of content you should be notified about when it is available. So don't forget to hit that like button, y'all. Y'all come on in and do what you do. Bantu Mandinga asks, what about Bull? Listen, all due respect, y'all, Bull ain't going nowhere. In fact, if it wasn't for the fact that not too long ago, I had announced that Bull and everything off of Bull was going to be kept in-house. I wasn't going to make any of that available to the public. But being that we are going to let Solo go, we will, you know what I mean, breed Bull and you know, allow some of his work to go to the public. But originally I was going to keep all that in-house. Facts. So Power said the hounds look great, fam. I appreciate that. Thank you, brother. Thank you. You know, we still working. We still working. The yard itself takes a great majority of my time. I don't get as much time with my dogs as I'd like, but I try to squeeze that in there as much as humanly possible. But Bantu Mandinka, to answer your question, what about Bull? That boy ain't going nowhere. Bull is gonna die at my feet, man. You know what I mean? He's gonna either die in my arms or at my feet, man. That boy ain't going nowhere. Not him. Now I may be sending for a son of Bull, one of Bull's sons that's up in Boston. I may be sending for him soon. Y'all stay tuned and we'll see what we're gonna do about that if we really want to go down that road. All right. iRock says Solo's going to be a major part of my foundation doing protection, bite work, and weight pulling. That's it. He's the perfect dog for all that, bro. He's the perfect dog. I would say the bite work and the weight pulling with the protection work, you're going to have to bring him along slowly, right? You're going to have to bring him along slowly. Keep in mind, he's still a young dog, and you know, he's still, you know, you want to work on his confidence with that protection work. All right. You want to work on his confidence and his ability to discern, you know, what is a threat and what is friendly. You know what I mean? So those are some of the things that you'll really concentrate on with Solo. Philly Dog Man 215, peace, beloved. Good to see you in the building, man. He said, I saw a bull in person. He's very impressive looking and full of fire. Thank you, bro. Thank you. And quite honestly, bro, if it wasn't for the fact that we are letting Solo go, we wouldn't be allowing anything off of bull to go to the public at this point. You know what I mean? I want to get hold of bull's entire litter and raise that to full adulthood, and then begin the process of building that line. But absolutely, boy. iRock said, I'm eventually gonna need a female off of bull. Absolutely. If I have my way, we're going to manage to bring Bull and Raina together, and pups off of that is just going to be fire. Asiatic Soldier says Solo is a good-looking dog. That protection work should be right in his field. Absolutely. Hold up, y'all. Hold up. I don't know what's going on here, but I just seen some stuff, man, that don't look kosher. Wait a minute. Let me put this up here, y'all. But iRock, as far as eventually getting a female off a bull, absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Bull is going to probably be bred to every female in the camp at this point, and maybe a couple of females that are not in the camp right now. So, he'll definitely have females available, or daughters available off of possibly Raina, Fat Girl, the old family red nose bitch, and down the line possibly a daughter off of the Hollingsworth bull breeding, right? So we just did Kitana, brought her to I want to say a 50%. No, I'm sorry. The boy's 60, 70. His percentage is up there, Hollingsworth's bull. I forget exactly which. I'll pull it. I was just looking at it. But so we have a heavy Hollingsworth's bull breeding coming down the pipe. We got them pups coming down the pipeline. If the breeding took, y'all keep your fingers crossed for a fella. And likely a daughter off of that. We'll be taking a female from that, and we'll be putting bull to that, or some frozen semen off of bull to that female. All right. Peace and blessings. Furious Process. Say, I just got a pit bull puppy for $100. His mom is a red-nosed bully, and the dad a blue-nosed pit bull. He is about 4 months. Ragnar, and the raw diet is doing wonders for him. A red-nosed bully. Furious Process. I would say to you this. Paying $100 for a dog is dangerous. It seems like you know where the parents came from, but you're not really sure about the makeup of the parents, right? To say that the mom is a red-nosed bully and the dad is a blue-nosed pit bull, there's some label issues in there. You know what I mean? There's some label issues in there, and the puppy being a pit bull puppy is a little bit, that's a bit of a reach under the circumstances. All I'm gonna say is take good care of your dog. Be very careful to watch its temperament as the dog grows up. Take extra pains to socialize that puppy with both humans and other animals, and most especially take extra pains to socialize that dog with children, right, and other adults, especially children, because it sounds to me like the makeup of the dog is in question, right? Like, I'm not sure everything that goes into what a red-nosed bully, right? Because nobody knows exactly what goes into a bully these days. So definitely try to do a little bit of homework on, what the background on the mom and pop is, you know, get as specific as possible. If you can find paperwork or whatever the case may be, that's always a good thing. And just be really, really careful about your puppy. Don't make any assumptions about his temperament. Don't make any assumptions about his friendliness or about him being good with kids or about him, being non-aggressive to people. Don't make any assumptions at all, and keep your dog tethered at all times. Keep your dog tethered, keep your dog secured at all times. All right. There's a lot going on about, dangerous dogs, etc. So you don't want to be the poster child for, the ASPCA's dangerous dog law. All right. So I hope that helps. Just raw diet is great. That's always wonderful. Make sure you're doing things to treat for worms, and make sure you're balancing out that raw diet as well. All right. All right. Let's move on here. Asiatic Soldier said, what is your routine or any tips for this colder winter weather up north with the hounds? Excellent question, bro. Excellent question. I did just shoot a video where I was talking about preparation for winter weather, for winter storms specifically. Up this way, we get what we call the nor'easters. And one of the things that I like to do in preparation for those storms is I found that if I burn some wood while a storm is raging, right? If I get that burn barrel going, it'll keep a lot of the snow from sticking in that general area, and it'll also keep their waste from freezing into the ground, which makes it almost impossible to pick up the next day, right? When the weather gets to be, below freezing and it stays that way for a few days, it's like you need a pickaxe to go pick up shit off the yard. So by using that burn barrel, when I know that weather's about to hit like that, I start burning ahead of time, and it keeps that ground soft. It keeps things manageable. It also gives the dogs a much better area to move around in. Out here, when we get snow, we can almost guarantee it's gonna stick, and we can guarantee that we're gonna get at least an inch or two, right? Bare minimum. So the dogs, in order for them to be able to move around a little bit better, that burn barrel is one of the keys to my game. The other thing I do, and keep in mind that we also, this is a process of evolution. In the beginning of this video here, y'all actually see me pouring hot water in the dogs' bowls, and that's primarily, an everyday thing, right? When I come out, usually that water in their bowl is at least somewhat frozen. So if I dump some hot water right on top of that, it gets it to thawing out, the whole 9 yards, makes that whole scenario a lot easier. Also, by bringing hot water out, it allows me to clean the bowls right there on the spot, right? So I keep a little sprayer, with bleach and water in it, and hit the bowls with a little hot water, hit them with that bleach stuff, you know what I mean? Run a rag through them, then they're ready to be used. I also bump up the feed, right, on in preparation for storms and extra cold nights. So one of the things that it helps to do is I'll go ahead and I'll hit them with that first feed, and I'll put hot water in that, right? First regular portion feed, put some hot water in that, and they'll run right through that. hang out with them for a little bit, cleaning up the yard, doing whatever I'm doing out there. And then after that, before I leave the yard, I'll go ahead and hit them with the kind of portion and a half of dry feed. And what this will do is, even if it snows, right, and some snow gets in the bowl and gets on that on their kibble, it'll just soften the kibble up. It's not gonna kill it. It's not gonna make it go bad or none of that. Um, and then in addition to that, um, if they, if they're burning a lot of energy, they're burning a lot of, body energy, just staying warm, so they can go right to the bowl and go ahead and replenish, anything that they burning. So that's why I got the bigger feed bowls. I like leave extra food bowl. And in the summertime, I'm a proponent of that, right? Because they don't need it as much. In the wintertime, I don't mind a dog free feeding. You know what I mean? Solo is about the only dog I don't free feed. Because no matter how much I put in a bowl for him, he's gonna try to eat it all in one sitting. You know what I mean? He will literally be eating and pooping at the same time, right? And he won't stop eating to poop, right? Like, him pooping is not telling him that he's eaten enough. He just keeps eating. So, but yeah, that's pretty much how I handle that in the wintertime. Now, as y'all see these barrels in this video, you'll see Raina's barrel in the back has that tarp over the front. It's wrapped in that foil insulation that you see on Ghostface's barrel, but obviously he's been tearing his shit up. And then in addition, there's an extra layer of insulation and roofing material on the outside of the insulation. So the barrels are pretty much double insulated with a tarp hanging over the front to help keep the weather out. The bedding is all natural straw, right? Now, there are two types of straw used. One is a longer, more traditional. That's great, but has a tendency to get caught up in the chain, and just it's a lot more messy, right? It's when the chain is dragging through it. So I switched over to a finer straw. Switched over to a fine straw. Once you put it in there, it's not as much of it coming out when the dog comes out like the longer straw. When you put that in the barrel and the dog climbing in and out of the barrel, a lot of times they dragging that right back out on the yard. With the finer straw, it stays in the barrel much better. So that's pretty much what we've been doing, man. That's I did rewrap Ghostface's barrel after the first time he tore it up. And then I walked back out to the yard to find out not only had he torn the damn stuff off again, but he literally had basically dragged the barrel out into the middle of his chain spot and decided he didn't want it where it was no more. So, yeah, I stopped fighting with him about how he fucks up his doghouse. That's just that, that's a personal issue. That's what he wants in terms of his accommodations. But here is where y'all actually see me adding that hot water. You know what I mean? That hot water to me makes all the difference. It's kind of like sending your kids out in the world with some oatmeal, in the morning. When you send them off to school in the morning, you make sure they got some oatmeal in there. But I hope that answers the question for you, bro. That's Asiatic. It is absolutely critical. Some of the things that I would like to do moving forward is get their barrels a little bit further up off the ground. Actually create some type of heating system, right? That actually heats those barrels. You know what I mean? So at this point, the height that the barrels are at is okay, but I prefer something, I want them to be a good 18 inches maybe off the ground at least. 18 inches to 2 feet off the ground, I'd feel a lot better about. I Rock said, appreciate the knowledge and opportunity, OG. All the love and respect in the world. Absolutely, fam. Absolutely. You've been extremely patient, bro. You've been, you know what I mean, and you've been there pretty much since day one. So I'm with you all the way, bro. You ride with me, I'm gonna ride with you. That's how we do around here. All right. Inquisitive Jen asks, are you still going to do a reading with Bull solo? No, no, I am not going to do any dual breedings. Um, there's an off chance that I may breed solo to Raina. That may be something that I'll consider. But honestly, in terms of really the pups that I want to see hit the ground, Bull is really the type of dog that I want to see, reproduced in my yard. Bantu Mandinka said Bull gonna be in heaven. Yeah. I mean, ain't too many situations that's sweeter than the dog being, having three females around them. Like it's actually kind of drives him a little bit batty. Two females and he running back and forth between them like, hey, which one do I get? Which one do I get? Do I get them both? So yeah, it's a little hard telling them that he ain't supposed to be the guy to get it all. Waited too long to roll this entourage, y'all. This joint drying out on me. Okay, Furious Process. I think he got our meaning. He got our meaning. He understands it. All right. All right. Philly Dog Man says Solo has all the attributes to excel in bite work. Super athletic. So that's one thing that you cannot take away from the Solo dog. For a 100-pound dog, like that boy jumps out the gym. And that's pretty damn commendable. Now we definitely went the extra mile to make sure that he would be athletic. You understand? So it's almost to be expected, but nevertheless, yeah, he's gonna make somebody extremely happy. Somebody's gonna be thrilled with Solo. I promise you that. Mary Joy Mary, welcome to the channel. I don't think I've seen you here before, but I appreciate you stopping in. Mary Joy Mary says red-nosed bully. Interesting. Okay. So since obviously, let's go ahead and put it out there for our friend Furious Process, right? So when we talk about old family red nose on this channel, Furious, what we're talking about is a line of pit bulls, American pit bull terriers, that have been bred on winning game dogs, right? Game dogs that have proven themselves as game dogs. proving themselves in battle, proving themselves in the pit, proving themselves in the field, hunting, etc. So the old family red-nosed dogs that I run today are offshoots of those older dogs in the past that were used for those types of functions. When you see a bully, right, the American bully as a breed really is what you would consider, I hate to say it, a mutt, right? Not to offend anybody, but it is a conglomeration of different breeds, right? Different breeds. And so when you see a bully that has a red nose, that is just pigmentation. It's not bloodline, if you understand the difference. So there's no guarantee that your red-nosed bully is going to throw red-nosed dogs, right? Um, your red-nosed bully does not necessarily have any attachment to old family red-nosed American Pit Bull Terriers. It just so happens that sometimes dogs get together and they produce dogs with a red nose, or what's called a liver colored nose. So no disrespect, but here you'll see an example of old family red nosed dog, right? So this is not an American bully. She is old family red nose. Her lineage goes back, as far back as old family red nosed dogs go, right? You'll notice the deep red coat, the deep red nose, right on down to the toenails. The eye color is usually a golden type hazel type color, but you see that almost the dog is almost red right down to the bone, right? So this is what we mean by old family red nose, and what is a true red nose pit bull, if you will. A true red-nosed pit bull comes from the old family red-nosed lines. Um, Other than that, what you have is a pit bull with a red nose. I know it sounds a little bit crazy, but it's a fine distinction, but it's definitely a distinction. So when you have an American bully, and let's talk about what an American bully was originally supposed to be, right? The American bully was supposed to be a dog that was a pit bull on steroids. That means the temperament on that dog was never supposed to change. Just the size and structure was supposed to get bigger and stockier, more muscular. Um, what we ended up getting today is a dog that was mixed with not all other breeds, but a bunch of other breeds. It's not a working dog, it's a companion dog. It's not supposed to be aggressive towards anything, a human or animal. Like the bully today is supposed to be just kind of a docile couch potato, right? And if you don't have that kind of dog, and from what I can see, he's been saying, Furious tells us he's a red-nosed fawn, red-nosed bully, fawn-colored red-nosed bully, great family dog. And this is what I was trying to get to. He is very smart and protective. He is a pit bull by nature, and they are very aggressive, but he is spoiled and he knows who the alpha is. So understand that a bully should not be aggressive. A bully should not be aggressive. According to the standards of the ABKC and these other registries that have developed a standard for the American bully, from what I understand, aggression in the American bully is an undesirable trait. The dog should not be aggressive. Flip side to that, if you have a dog that appears to have that pit bull temperament, you need to really go ahead and find out what the parents are made of and keep that dog under control at all times. He's young now, he's 4 months old. As he gets older, his attitude is going to change. All right. So remember, you heard it here first, Furious. As that dog gets older, first when he hits a year, then 18 months, then 2 years old, then 3 years old, his attitude is going to change gradually, but in a very pronounced fashion, right? It's going to be pretty obvious that he's got a different attitude about some things. So just be alert and be on point for that. All right, bro? I'm sure your dog is beautiful, and we wish you all the best with him. All right, so Power, aka Gamed Up Kennel, said, "What are you feeding the hounds?" So right now, everybody is strictly on kibble, brother. Everybody's strictly on sports mix, black bag, 24 grams of protein, 24 grams serving. So that result of financial concerns, right, as well as efficiency, right, in terms of time. Uh, Feeding raw can be labor intensive, you know, and if you're trying to do that every day for 6 dogs and trying to get each dog's portion exactly right according to their weight and level of work, you will find yourself stuck in the kitchen all day. So for the time being, we have reverted to kibble. Um, I consider the reversion to kibble absolutely temporary. In fact, I consider it downright ephemeral, right? As soon as humanly possible, when the financial stars align, so to speak, we're gonna be moving back into that raw, and that'll be for all the dogs across the board. But right now, we are feeding that sports mix in the black bag. Um, Sports mix in the black bag, 24 grams of protein, 20 grams of fat per serving. Okay, there we go. My apologies, y'all. I lost my tab for a minute. All right. Furious says, "What do you recommend for worms other than the vaccines?" Furious. One of the best things, I like all natural stuff. I like anything all natural. For example, the first week of every month, I kind of take care of all my deworming, all of my yard spraying, any of that stuff that needs to be done in terms of cleaning the dogs up, baths, and all of that kind of stuff. We tackle all of that stuff in the first week to 10 days of the month. Well, starting at the first of the month, we just start that process. One of my favorite things to feed, especially for raw, is to feed garlic, right? One garlic clove or chopped up or fed whole will do wonders for the dog, right? And you can do that on a daily basis without hurting the dog at all. Now, pups, because they're younger, because their organs and whatnot are still developing, I probably wouldn't do a whole garlic clove, right? It's not really necessary to do a whole garlic clove. You can chop one in half, throw that in with his raw feed, or ball it up in a ball of like ground beef and feed them that, and that will help to kill worms tremendously. That'll keep worms down as well. Uh, apple cider vinegar in the water is excellent for controlling fat on the dog as well as controlling worms. And if you have a female, it's excellent, to keep that urinary tract, even for the male, to keep that urinary tract cleaned out so that you don't have it. Um, let's see. So also for deworming, I like fenbendazole, right? Fenbendazole is it can be a dewormer for goats, for dogs, or for horses, I believe, or for other livestock. Let's put it that way, right? So at the end of the day, that is more of a chemical dewormer. It's not a natural dewormer, but it is excellent for what I call the tummy worms, right? Your ringworm and all of that kind of stuff. Tapeworms, so forth and so on, roundworms, pinworms, stuff like that. Um, in terms of heartworm prevention, I do use an ivermectin paste. Not recommended for everyone because if you fail in the dosage, you could fuck your dog up royally, right? Um, in this video here, just a quick aside, y'all see me using the new finer straw. That new finer straw is just, it's something of an experiment right now. I want to know that it's keeping the dogs warmer and that it's staying in the barrel more, right? Not as much of it is hitting the yard, because that makes for, especially when it snows and it rains, that makes for a real messy cleanup as well. It makes for, extraordinarily heavy bags unnecessarily and all of that. But so fembendazole, right? Fembendazole, ivermectin paste, right? And then aside from that, you can use all natural dewormers like pumpkin seed powder, like garlic, and like apple cider vinegar, right? All of those help with worms. Soul Power, aka Gamed Up Kennels, my brother asked, how loud is your yard? You know, when it was just Tata, right? Or when it was just Tata and Fat Girl on the yard, when it was just my Hollingsworth and my old family red nose bitch on the yard, you could hear Tata yapping, cats, possums, skunks, whatever, raccoons, you know, another dog. She's gonna get to yapping. She's gonna do her yapping thing, guaranteed, right? Now, once I put Solo on the yard, and then I put Raina on the yard, now my yard is loud as hell. My yard is so loud that sometimes I gotta go outside and tell the ass to shut the hell up. Like literally, like they got to the point where Ghost, who wasn't barking at all, now he's got a bark that sounds like Solo's. Like that boy can bark deep. Like he can let one out. And I'd never heard him bark the whole time he was here before he was put on the yard, before those two were put on the yard with him. So nowadays, last couple of days, last week or so, yard has been a little bit louder than I like. So I find myself on the ass about it. Y'all heard the man Soul Power, aka Gamed Up Kennel says smash that like button, peoples. Smash that like button. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, Trent. Pump 17 said, at Furious, pumpkin seeds also contain an amino acid called cucurbitase. Yeah, I'm gonna let the brother pronounce that one. But yeah, that cucurbitacin It paralyzes parasites like tapeworms in your dog's digestive tract. So that's pumpkin seeds. That's the pumpkin seed powder I alluded to earlier. Definitely an excellent, excellent way to help control worms. Now, important. He continues by saying pumpkin seeds are safe for dogs to eat, and ground pumpkin seeds act as a natural deworming agent for dogs. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's so important that people hear that information confirmed, right? Because people ask questions, they don't know me from a hole in the wall except from what they see on this channel. But if other people who have dogs, who have history with dogs, to chiming in and letting them know these are the things that you can do to help, that always helps a person out, gives them more confidence to do what they need to do, right? All right, let's see what we got here. So Power says, better yet, how do you control your hounds when they turn up? Ooh, boy, oh boy. All right, that's a hell of a question, bro. So that is an ongoing process. That's an ongoing process, and it depends on what they turned up about, right? Now, if they turned up about some fool who pulled into the parking lot or pulled up on the street, that's pretty much, I can go out there and tell them to hush, and they know the command, and they'll be quiet. The key to that is they know the command. How did they learn the command? By being inside with me. So I know for some people, it's impractical if you got, a whole bunch of dogs. But if you have a manageable number of dogs, it's highly recommended that you snatch their ass off the chain and bring one inside at least once a day to live with you inside, learn the inside rules, learn different civilities for a dog, right? These are things that dogs on a chain wouldn't learn because they don't have to live in a human space. Once that dog has lived with you in that human space and learns what's expected of you, when you put that dog out on the chain, that quiet command, that hush command is definitely one of the things that they take with them, right? Sometimes with Solo, I got to get right in his face, because Solo is what I call he's a defensive barker. He's trying to make sure that you don't come no closer, you don't get nowhere near here. So he's going to sound off and, try to make all the noise he possibly can. But once I'm actually, kind of, hey, Solo, hush, then I don't have that problem anymore. They cool right out. They chill right out once they hear that command. Now, that's with average distractions, right? Sirens, loud noises, people walking by. If there is another dog, if that dog is passing by, okay, I'll let them kind of get off they bark a little bit, and then I hush them up. If they are face to face with another dog, so far from what I've seen, I haven't been able to turn that off. If the dog is passing by, I can get hold of that situation and eventually get my dog to calm down. But when they've been face to face, ain't no, ain't no real turn down for that. So, the best way that I control them, especially when it comes to, being faced with a situation with another dog or something like that, is to not put them in that situation. All right. Pump 17 said grind seeds and give a quarter teaspoon per 10 pounds of body weight once or twice a day until the parasites are gone. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Love that type of information and education disseminated here on this channel. All right. So let me see who was asking. I'm pretty sure that was Furious who was asking about the worms. So Then you have Furious, very simple. You can get your pumpkin seeds by the pound at your local Walmart. You know, most grocery stores is gonna have them. Go ahead and grind them suckers up and feed them to your dog once or twice a day. Quarter teaspoon, which is not a lot. You know, teaspoon is very small, so you think a fourth of that, right? Um, put that right in the dog's food, and your dog is good to go. Mary Joy Mary asks, do you ever need an actual vet for anything, or can you do everything yourself pretty much? If so, what reason would you ever use a vet? That is a great, great, great question, Mary Joy. Thank you. So, yes, there will be times, and there are times when I need a vet, right? I think when we all will need a vet. Um, when you're talking about actual surgery, right? Anything that requires actual surgery where you got to literally take a scalpel, go into the dog, open the dog up, deal with organs, blood vessels, nerves, and then close that dog up. That surgery to me, that requires a vet. I'm not fucking with it. Right? I'm not doing all of that. I'm not going to even try to do anything like that I may end up killing my dog. Um I've seen surgeries on animals where they know exactly which blood vessels to tie off to avoid the animal bleeding, bleeding excessively when they make an incision. This is information that I don't have, right? So I wouldn't try to do surgery. But now let's talk about parvo. Let's talk about coccidia, giardia. That stuff I'm tackling myself. That stuff I'm tackling myself, primarily because once the dog has it, there's very little that the vet can do to help. The vet is going to give you some remedies and some solutions that you could definitely work out on your own. So, with stuff like that, mostly everything I try to do myself. Um, the thing that troubles me about the veterinarian industry is that it's very much like the medical industry for humans, in that it's just cash ridden. It is money ridden, and because like medical insurance for pets is not necessarily a commonplace thing like it is for human beings. Um, a lot of veterinarians come off as, oh yeah, let me look at your dog. All right, here's a $200-300 bill, and pretty much you don't have a solution, or what they've given you is something that you could have probably done yourself, and it shouldn't cost you several $100s, right? uh Vets are not quick to educate. Some veterinarians are not quick to educate. It's almost like they purposely keep people in the dark and mislead them. Many veterinarians advocate things like kibble and stuff, certain dog foods, so they kind of have almost corporate relationships and sponsorships that they're locked into. And so a lot of what they're presenting to their clients falls along those lines. So if it was surgery, I'm going to use a vet. Um, Now, let's say we're out and there's a hunting accident, right? Dog gets bit, has severe lacerations, pretty deep. If it's not anything that's threatening internal organs, then I'll sew that up myself. You know what I mean? That I can do stitching. But the only real thing I'm going to use a vet for is those things which are life threatening, which I absolutely just have no way of controlling. I can't figure it out myself. A lot of what goes wrong with your dog, you're going to find is basically diet. By changing one or two things in the diet, or maybe changing the diet completely, you find that these things resolve themselves over time. Dogs are extremely, extremely resilient. Bantu Mandinga said you need a vet for the rabies shot. Absolutely. Right. So aside from your, your first vaccines and even your first vaccines, you don't necessarily have to go to a vet for. You can give those that 5-in-1 and 10-in-1s. You can give those shots yourself. If you're more comfortable, you take your dog to the vet. But literally, you're gonna come out way cheaper if you give those vaccines yourself. And the only shot that you cannot give a dog yourself, at least legally in the state of New York, is that rabies shot. So you have to have that administered by a vet legally in the state of New York. So yeah, good catch, Bantu Mandinka. That is absolutely right. You do need a vet for the rabies shot. Mary Joy Mary asks, can't you order that shot online? Not that I'm aware of, not for rabies. If you can, that's new to me. If you run across something though, Mary, definitely share that with us. I'd be happy to, post a link here so that we can all, take advantage of it. But from what I understand, rabies shots have to be administered by a vet. All that other stuff, you can actually buy, for the parvo and all of that other stuff, you can actually buy that stuff at Tractor Supply. Your local Tractor Supply will usually carry all vaccines. Brandon Blue in the building. What's good? What's good? Good to see you. Inquisitive Jen says, I got my 4-seed daily mix: hemp seed, pumpkin seed, chia seed, and sunflower seeds. Excellent, excellent. Be careful with the seeds and nuts. Be careful with those, with your dog. Better to grind it down to powder and feed it that way. You know what I mean? Because legumes for seeds and nuts, for whatever reasons, tend to be toxic for dogs. So you just something about altering their altering them from a solid to the powder seems to mitigate that toxicity. Brandon Blue says, do you ever let them purge? Brandon Blue, you have asked a question like that on this channel before, and we're going to give you the same answer we gave you last time. I don't know what you're talking about. I rock 999 love, peace in the chat. Appreciate the super chat, brother. Said, if you're looking for or needing a different kibble, give a look at the black or purple bags of Victor. Best bang for the buck with fat and protein, both combined real well with raw as well. Okay. Honestly, the only I've never tried Victor, right? I've predominantly I feed raw. That's one reason. But once I went to the black bag on the sports mix, I really haven't moved from there because I felt like that was giving me what I was looking for in a kibble. And one of the things that I consider important is that I want to see that I don't have to feed a whole lot, right, for the dog to feel, fed. And then when the dog eliminates, I don't want to see a big pile of soft, messy plop. I want that stool to be tight. I want it to be as hard, as compact as humanly possible, right? I want it to be tight, hard, and compact. I want it to be as close to a raw feed stool as possible. So I was getting that from the black bag, and I never really looked beyond that. Although I was hearing a lot of good things about the value pack and the Victor, right? My only question is a question of price. When I feed the black bag, I'm feeding roughly $1 a pound, right? If I'm feeding raw, right, my leg quarters come in at right around 70, 75 cents a pound. So my thing is, you have to feed other raw meat besides chicken, right? You have to feed your pork, your beef, your fish. You want to mix up your proteins. So that's what makes feeding raw more expensive, right? Because your pork is going to come in $3 a pound. Your ground beef may come in $4 or $5 a pound. Um, your fish, $4 or $5 a pound. So when you're feeding raw, this is where your expense tends to come from. It doesn't necessarily come from the chicken side of things. But you can't just feed chicken because your dog will develop. Many dogs develop allergies and sensitivities to feeding just chicken. So for that reason, I compare dry kibble, the cost of feeding dry kibble, to the cost of feeding raw, right? So while it's cheaper for me to feed the kibble, even at $1 a pound, going beyond that starts to like, I might as well just go back to raw. And the last time I checked, that Victor was maybe about $10 to $15 more for, I want to say, either the same 40-pound bag. With Sports Mix, you get a 44-pound bag. I think with Victor, I was looking at a little bit less than a 40-pound bag. So y'all let me know how that flies, and we'll get more into that. We'll get more into that. But I'll be honest about this. Since switching to kibble, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't like the effect on the dogs. I don't like I'm just used to seeing a lot more shine and pop in my dog's coat. Uh the muscle definition, I feel, is not there. The energy level. I just think there are just so many things that I don't know. I just feel like maybe I'm biased, you know what I mean? But the dogs just seem to be doing so much better when it was a strictly raw feed. Brandon Blue says, I believe you can do it, bro. You know, with this gang, I probably could. I could probably do a real nice purge. And I got some people in the neighborhood I'd probably start with. You know what I mean? But that's probably for another show, bro. All right. Zulu Nation, peace and blessings. Zulu Nation in the building says, I mix Victor, Black Bag Sports Mix, and Diamond. Okay. He's mixing all three. Okay. Uh, if you would, bro, why do you mix all three? I mean, do you feel like they do better with all three, or all three is better as opposed to just doing one exclusively? Or is it just something that you just working with? Said if it's not broken, don't fix it. Victor hits, bro. Okay. Okay. Inquisitive Jen said, just got put onto canned sardines in water. 22 grams of protein for $1.99. Yes, sir. Inquisitive Jen, I might be telling on myself a little bit, but even better than the canned sardines, I like the canned mackerel. I like that canned mac, bro. That canned mac for the dog, man, for some reason, you know, that's almost like the chicken. That's almost like the chicken. It just seems to do something for a dog, man. But yeah, that is definitely, you know, when you are feeding raw and you feeding these animals and you trying to keep them, you start looking at uh how many grams of protein for how much money you put now. Not only that, but when you start talking about conditioning them, you know what I mean? You know, pound for pound, dollar for dollar, what do you get? You know what I mean? How far can you condition the dog or take the dog on a certain budget? Zulu Nation said add eggs with it, with the Victor. Honestly, adding eggs with anything, with any kibble, is an excellent idea. Problem is, eggs right now, the cost of eggs right now is like, man, listen, what the heck is going on in America? Yeah, man. Zulu Nation said I tried the single one, and one does weight, the other lean, the other is both. And that's what I found out separately. But one dog's poop is always nasty, loose. Yeah, that's one of the things that I can't to me, if a dog's stool is loose like that, there's something wrong. That means there's a trouble with digestion. You know what I mean? And that means we either need to adjust the feed, the amount of the feed, or you know what I mean? Something along those lines gotta give. The eggs do hit big, bro. No lie. Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, um, I recorded this particular video that y'all see now. I recorded this video just before we had a storm that hit I don't know, maybe a week ago, 5 days ago, something like that, gave us a couple of inches or whatever. And by burning by getting that burn barrel going and all of that early, the next day you could see where snow had covered everything except that inner area. So it just made everything a lot easier. Bill Norris, peace and blessings, bro. Good to see you in the chat. Good to see you here with us, bro. He said eggs are always good. I have found rice is a big help for loose stools. Okay. Okay. Rice. I've never tried using rice to combat a loose stool. That's something I'm gonna have to look into. We'll try that. Zulu Nation said, but I love you can see Captain America in your mail. Question: how do you like having more females? Um, I'm going to actually address the first part of your statement first. That Captain America that I see in my mail, I do not like. I really, really do not like. Um, I took, I went through a lot of effort to build Solo structurally so that he would not kind of end up looking like that, you know. And it didn't quite pan out. You know what I mean? Like genetically, he was gonna be what he's gonna be. Um, there's just a lot of differences in terms of his temperament. There's a lot of differences in his temperament that really all I can say is they just they just don't really give me what I need when I'm with a dog in the field. And that's the best way I can put that. So I love having more females. Um, I love the options that having more females gives me. Uh, like right now, I can do a pure old family red nose breeding, or I can do a cam old family red nose breeding. Um, just did the Bolio Tombstone breeding, heavily bred on a Hollingsworth Bulldog. Um, and that gives us another option on her next heat. So yeah, having more females is definitely. It's almost like being a kid in the candy shop, having options, and of course, Raina. You know, you know, I love that. I love that. Shout out to the brother Bill Norris with the $10 super sticker in the chat. All right, we appreciate that love piece, bro. Appreciate the $10 love piece. That's definitely love, man. Every little bit definitely helps. That's another bale of hay right there, brother. Believe it or not. Zulu Nation asks why not. Okay, looks like you got the answer. But yeah, just I suspect that the Captain America dog um I suspect that those dogs were bred for weight pulling. Um Captain America comes from Texas Jack Bullies. And they don't necessarily rear dogs that are oriented towards developing a field IQ. They not developing hunting dogs. They more into the they just more into the weight pull and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Weight pull show type. And I need dogs that's really about it in the woods. That's my primary purpose. I'm not playing with nothing else. I don't care whether it's game dogs supposedly box bred for generations upon generations. You know what I mean? If that dog is not built for survival, then that dog is not, you know, it needs to have that ingrained, right? Like there are things that Bull shows me that you simply cannot teach a dog, right? There's no way to teach that to a dog. The dog just knows it in and of itself, and it does what it does, and it's a wonder to watch. And I've got that in both Bull and Raina. So I hesitate to breed a dog that doesn't have that into my program. Originally, I was really thinking about bringing Solo to Raina on her next heat, but I'm gonna try to go in a different direction with that. But I hope that answers your question, bro. I hope that answers your question. Bill Norris, I'm not sure what that emoji was, but it's all love, bro. Absolutely love. We appreciate you. All right, so it looks like I'm caught up to most of the comments here. Y'all have any other questions? Feel free to shoot them out there. I have no idea why this thing says my name is Rely Imperial instead of Ray Imperial, but we're gonna work on that with them. It's always a pleasure to work with these dogs, man, and kind of get them developed and get them going. This boy he has been a serious project for real. He has been a project and a half, and continues to be. Ghostface dog is about 17 months old now. He's going on 18 months. It's going on 18 months. Um, Still a very young dog in a lot of ways. Uh, he had the tools, but when he came in, he seemed a little bit uncoordinated, maybe a little bit clumsy. Um, since then, he seems to have developed a degree of athleticism and just his reflexes and uh, timing. Man, the boy is a beast. Come to find out, you sure can't tell by looking at a dog. He's got one hell of a bite. I mean, this boy's got a mouth on him. Like, and I don't always term mouth in terms of having big teeth or you know sometimes the dog just knows how to close his mouth and keep it closed, and he is definitely one of those dogs. So yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure working with him. He's got some every dog has got some issues that need to be worked around and worked out. If they can't be, they get returned back to where they came from. They don't become part of the imperial program. That's a fact. But for all his size, uh, Solo just can't give me the degree of athleticism that I'm going to get in a dog like Ghostface. He's not going to give me the wind that I'm going to get in a dog like Ghostface. And keep in mind, we're talking about targeting prey that can run 15, 20 miles, without stopping. So, you know, um, that's what I'm kind of engineering my program towards. So, a big kind of cumbersome dog is not going to really feel you know, fill the criteria, if you will. You need a dog that's going to be strong, powerful, but agile and capable of go, 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 go. And then, of course, it doesn't hurt that the dog have a love for the work either, right? Zulu Nation says, I appreciate your honesty. Absolutely, fam. Um, I will always choose my words carefully because I try not to offend anybody. You know, I understand people are different and everybody has their own way of seeing things. So I try not to offend, but I'm also going to be honest, man, about where I stand with a thing. You know what I mean? Either that thing is for me and what I'm doing or it's not, and there's just no two ways about that. Asiatic Soldier asks, what are your thoughts on the Dine Red Cell? So typically Dine and Red Cell are two different products with people use them similarly, but in all reality, they're different products with different purposes, right? Typically, your Dine is designed to help a dog recover after a workout, but also to put calories, right? To put weight on a dog. Um, that's that's all well and good if that's your goal, right? If you want to, add calories. Whereas the red cell is just what it says. It's designed to open up the red blood cells. It's designed to help the generation of red blood cells, which is really carrying oxygen to the blood. It's increasing blood flow. So it helps to build muscle in a way that, to me, dying just helps to put weight on. Your exercise is actually helping to build muscle. With the red cell itself is actually helping to build muscle in addition to the exercise that you put the dog through, right? So in terms of a recovery tool, again, I like the red cell because often you'll find that it comes with iron. And with that red cell, you'll also, the iron, and then the production of red blood cells, all of that makes it as much medicine as nutrition, if you kind of get where I'm coming from. So when I'm working a dog, and I really, I'm really putting work on them dogs, especially bringing up young dogs. I don't want to see them, just putting weight on. I want to see them developing and really getting healthier, right? Getting more out of their workouts. Red cell is going to give me all of that, right? Whereas the dine typically is something that I'm going to feed after I finished working the dog. And I'm just trying to make sure that the dog, I'm keeping weight on the dog, so to speak. It'll give the dog energy, it'll do all of that stuff too. I'm not knocking it. I've definitely used it. But if I had my preference, I would use red cell over dine. Red cell is more for conditioning. Dine is if I'm trying to bring a dog like Ghostface back from a parvo battle. That's how I would use it. Inquisitive Jen said, "Do you see yourself adding any Castile blood to the yard?" So Castile blood would almost be redundant in a sense that that's that's blood down, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, from old Hempfield Wilder Serona blood, right? And back of that Castile stuff. So it would have to be an exceptional dog for me to just grab it. You understand? It's not just about any um any old red nose blood or anything like that. It is definitely about the best of the best. Many people and I'm surprised why, I'm surprised I've never had the question asked to this day, but I obviously have a preference for the red nose blood, right? And not including Kitana, right? You could literally say that my whole yard is based on old family red nose. And the reason for that is that blood has always been at the core of anything that really came out that was really worth looking at, right? Talking about in terms of dogs. Um, the Vindicators, the Centipedes, the SIDS, those dogs did a whole heck of a lot in terms of shaping the landscape of the American Pit Bull Terrier world we have today. I mean, we're talking about real foundation dogs. And when I did my research, it seems like anywhere you found a good dog, at the root of it, you found that red and Old Family Red Nose blood, right? Um, it does especially well crossed out, but to this day, the Old Family Red Nose blood has almost gone the way of the American Staffordshire, right? Which is basically a pit bull bred for the show ring, and that has, you know, most AKC staffy owners are people that, you know, will have nothing to do with any type of, you know, dog on dog aggression and stuff like that, you know. So they literally breed for more stable, more calm, more docile temperaments in their dogs. So if they have a litter where a dog is hot and ready to work, they don't breed that dog, right? Because they want a dog that's going to be uh, manageable in the show ring by anyone, right? The judge needs to be able to handle the dog. You got to be able to handle the dog, or you know, the handler has to be able to handle the dog. So the Old Family Red Nosed dogs that that have sort of proliferated, you know, have not necessarily been working stock. Have not been dogs that have been proven lately or any of that. And so it was a challenge to go out and find working stock under that OFRN banner, right? So the idea is to isolate the best of that blood, at least as far as I can get it, and develop, right? And then use that as a foundation towards what comes next. So, although nobody's ever asked a question, that's basically my reason for the Old Family Red Note for being a an aficionado or proponent of the Old Family Red Nose blood, because I believe that though those old red dogs were pretty much the cornerstone of when you start looking for gameness. Like, you know, some of y'all may or may not know, but not long ago, Solo and Bull got into it a second time. And Bull gives away 25 pounds to Solo. And Solo definitely had his way, right? If you had to say one guy won, one guy lost, Solo won, Bull lost. But the way Bull got up, you would have never known he lost. The way he went after Solo after he got his ass kicked, you would never know. He must have not known he lost, or he was losing, or that he was giving away 25 pounds. And that type of attitude, that gameness, that just willingness to go, I don't care what you bring in, that is the cornerstone of the Old Family Red Nose blood. Now we could get into a whole nother video, a whole nother time. This live is going on long enough. But when we say Old Family Red Nose, that's not the same as saying old family, right? So you have your old family dogs, and from those old family dogs, some of those dogs came out red with a red nose. When those dogs began to pop up, you had some people that seemed to feel like those dogs were showing a little bit more heat and gameness than the other dogs that they may have been around at the time. And so they developed sort of their own fan base. Those old family dogs coming out with the red coat and the red nose, they developed sort of their own fan base amongst breeders and boxmen of the time. And they began to literally, target that, right? After a while, the Hempfields and the Wilders, they went back to the like the dogs, and they began to target that red coat with the red nose. And this is where we get OFRN from. But the old family red-nosed dogs originally came from the old family dogs, the Confield dogs, the Henry Tudor dogs, I'm sorry, the Earl Tudor dogs, which came off the Frank Henry dogs, and going back, we talking Feely, Henry, Colby. You understand? So all of those dogs that were imported from England and Ireland, those are your old family dogs, right? And then when you talk about old family red nose, we're talking about dogs with red coats, red noses that came from those lines of old family dogs, and eventually were developed into a strain in and of themselves, right? So that's a little bit about why I personally concentrate on the old family blood. I'm starting at the beginning if I can help, right? I believe, like for example, Ghost is not just old family, but he's old family with that Klaus cross, right? When you go back and study the Klaus, study Bert Klaus, you understand that he ran the old Corvino blood out of Chicago, right? So again, we try to go back as old as we can possibly get it, right? Working staff blood, right? Working staff blood to me tells me that somewhere in there, the genetics of a blackjack, the genetics of a blackjack junior, the genetics of a black demon, the genetics of a Tacoma jack, that those genetics are very much alive in these dogs. When I see a working staff, so-called working staff, right? Pit bull by any other name, pit bull by any other name. So it is definitely we've been chopping for over an hour and 45 minutes, y'all. I'm not gonna hold you. I usually don't keep folks this long. I am kind of celebrating my damn self. So I appreciate everybody that came out. I appreciate everybody that's still hanging out. If y'all got any more questions, feel free to hit me up, man. I'm gonna slap my email up here because I definitely want even though y'all may not see as many videos coming, and I'm gonna try to get better with that, but it is a thing where we got to do what we got to do on a daily basis. I'm not satisfied with where the yard is at yet. Jack Frost put a hold on a lot of stuff that I was trying to do in terms of the landscaping here, right? So there's that to address. On top of that, we're looking at changing digs. We're looking at a little bit larger piece of land. So we're working on that as well. And in between all of that, I gotta love on my dogs and make sure that we get out to the woods and keep them sharp and keep me sharp. So with all of that going on, I want to say I appreciate each and every one of y'all that came out this evening. I especially appreciate y'all, with the super chats and the super stickers. Y'all do not realize exactly how much that stuff really helps. You know what I mean? So if you're not afraid to let YouTube know how you feel, go ahead, hit that like button. Don't be afraid to share the video. If you found anything valuable in it, definitely feel free to share it with a friend. And y'all have my email up there. Hit me up. Don't forget to show your support for the merch store on spring.com. And of course, y'all can find me on Instagram and Facebook under the Imperial Flame Kennels banner as well. With that said, I want to say peace and blessings. Thank you again to everybody that came out. And let's do it again soon. Peace. Don't forget, y'all, in a cold world, keep the heat.